Well, it probably wasn't going to look that much different from what you've just seen, but what's nice about it is that the front end was described by this manifest, and the difference really is that the database node is an OpenNebula database node, whilst the XWiki node is an OpenStack node. So we have the front end running on an OpenStack at the Enavance platform in Paris, while the back end node, the OpenNebula database, is running at Telecom Sud Paris in Evry. And the provisioning was done in the same way that Fabio showed. Now, I'm not going to redo the provisioning. The provisioning on the OpenNebula platform is a little slow at the moment. There's a lot of work going on. It's a real live provisioning platform. And the movement of 10 gigabyte images is like 28 minutes or so to get something started. So that's why I wanted to keep this one live, to show you it's actually there. But it's really the first cross-platform live application that we managed to broker completely on this CompatibleOne since we started. And everything here was described using the same manifests that Fabio showed us earlier on, and it's really quite an achievement. So I'd really like to thank, first of all, Salma for her help and support on the platform, and Julian as well for your help and support, because without either of you, none of this would have been possible. So really, thank you very much. And in fact, actually the network name is interpreted on an OpenNebula platform and pulls in a network resource. You need to know that it's there, okay? And you can hook up to a network resource. In the case of the OpenStack platform, we use the floating IPs, and so we allocate them real time, which is really much more convenient. But I think it would be possible with the OpenNebula too. But things are moving. There's a kind of convergence of this as people realize what cloud computing really needs. And each platform has kind of emerged on its own and said, I've got an idea, I've got an idea. But we really need to do this, you know. And the recent work at OpenStack is making it a little easier. Something we're not doing at the moment, which is but is ready for. You don't see it there. There's been an extension to the chords model underneath the network and underneath the package to specify the ports. Okay. Now the next step, the next immediate step, would make use of that information. Now it is possible already to do so on the OpenStack, whereby we'll be opening up the security groups and the security group rules. Okay. So that we can actually define with the package the IP table interface required. And when this is necessary, when this is possible through the provider platform type, such that it will interpret the port rules themselves, then they will be performed using the provider's technology. And when it's not possible, then it's a simple case of just communicating with Cossacks, such that he will open them up using the IP tables. Okay, so we have, with the Cossacks, we have the door open to performing the configuration as is required. Yeah.
And about metadata, are you still using the metadata services provided by the provider, or?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all, at all, at all. Not at all. Everything's Cossack. Okay? It allows us to do, the Cossacks is very simple. It provides a metadata interface and a command interface, whereby you can specify a name value pair, and you can specify something to do. Basically, I think you saw it in the manifest of Fabio. It was a fork, okay, or a system. Kept it very C. It's also command and process. They're alternative names. The command is done, and control returns after it's finished. And the process and fork is launched as a background task. Could have been foreground and background, but then people could have been confused with colors. So that allows you to build up a process of variables and then operations that can perform in the script of your choice, whether you want it to be puppet, chef, bash, trash, cache, whatever. It's as simple as that. So Cossacks is the enabler. Now, what we're aiming for is, it didn't get fed this morning, so it's getting a bit sloppy. The guys in OCCI are really quite interested in actually standardizing the Cossacks interface. They're really quite excited that fact of having an OCCI interfaced component being included as is, and distribution for Ubuntu, and I think with Red Hat and Debian and so forth would be really good. And the industry is really taking to their descriptive interface. It's really flexible, really powerful.
Well, the opportunity I see here in the COSAC is that we are doing basically the same thing. We call it OW2, and the config server, which is the component of OW2, is doing basically the same thing. So it's install something on a guest instance and try to speak with the config server. So, for example, restarting the services, installing software, provisioning machines. So basically, we can use this if it's a more standard way, because we built OW2 because there was a lack.
You need it, yeah. So likewise, we said there's a big hole here. We've got to do something. Okay. It's the same job. I mean, let's face it. Cars have 4 wheels in the corner. Okay. Don't need them on the roof.
We are basically facing the problem how to speak to EC2 instance, for example. Because on EC2, like by default, I think all ports are disabled, so you need to enable the ports in firewall, which are additional tasks that you need to do.
Of course.
So if you are doing some cross-cloud abstraction, you need to count with this, which is not so cloud abstract when you need to do some special step for one cloud provider. So.
Well, we've been playing around with these ideas. I mean, you're right talking about these public IPs and private IPs, because that's really what it's all about. We can start a machine and handle the software on it. Now, we've got a special project. It's a secret project. It's a secret module inside CompatibleOne.
Security.
No, it's not the security one. The security one, we don't talk about either, because they're really nasty guys. It's back on. No. But the secret one, it had a name change. It might even have another name change, because people didn't dare pronounce the first name. It's a little rude. The second one was Kernets. And it looks after network services. Now, there have been a series of very important workshop meetings inside CompatibleOne to specify the way in which we want the network services to operate. And in fact, it's emerged that network services is a PaaS, which will be deployed by the platform, and will be deploying VMs inside people's infrastructure, consuming a single IP, and then being a traffic controller between the nodes that it's got under its control. So basically, we're working in that sense, whereby the Connets module is kind of a networking platform. And just to alleviate these problems that we encounter with the platforms, because they're very real. Okay? The providers are very much behind their stone walls. As I said earlier on, Jean-Pierre, about being in silos. Okay.
We'll explode the silo.
Yeah. Cossacks. It doesn't yet have the bomb category.